Welcome back to the EJ Ward FuelView training series. In this video, we're going to be going over administrator cards. Administrative cards are cards that we can use to fuel at multiple sites if something isn't working. We typically use it as a manager override card. We also have site cards to do that as well. Our administrator cards can do a little bit more. So I'll go ahead and explain that while we're going through it. And we just need to drop down the asset management folder and then go to administrative cards. Once this comes up, every system has 1,024 available administrator cards. So it's not going to be like the vehicles and employees where we can just add them. They're already going to be there, but they are set to false from the beginning. So all of them are turned off. So all we need to do is go into an administrative card that we want by clicking on the card number. So we're going to go ahead and choose 8 here because it's one that's off already. And so we have other ones that have been turned on, but by default, all of them are set to off. And now all we need to do is select the site. So we can go ahead and select a site that this one is associated with. Then we have our card number, which is already set there. We cannot change that card number because we only have a set number of cards. You want to check the card status. The maximum quantity is how much fuel it can get per transaction. It'll give you a card last used whenever the last time it fueled with. You can hook this to an employee. So this is going to go with an employee that you have inside of the employee's record. It's not going to go with a user on the system. So we're going to go ahead and select myself. And then you have the fuel types that you can use. Most of the time we recommend that you would have this set to all because if it's an override card, you want it to be able to fuel anything in an emergency. You just want to have it set to all. So you can set it to all on the first one, unknown on the second one, or you can set it to all for both. It really doesn't matter. It's your preference, whatever you would like. And then below that, we have our administrative card tank association. So here we can actually associate with a certain tank if you want to. So each of these has a certain tank that we're associating it with. And this goes along with the extra things that we can do with the administrative card. So we can do fuel transfers with an administrative card, and that's something that we cannot do with a site card. We can also do inventory readings, and there are a couple of other options that we can do with the administrative card. So we can go ahead and do fuel transfers with the administrative card, and you can also do inventory readings or a totalizer reading, and you can do those just straight from the terminal itself with an administrative card. With the IoT terminals, this is set up with the IoT terminal to allow that from an administrative card. And that's typically why we associate these administrators or the administrative cards with a certain tank. So they're allowed to do a fuel transfer from certain tanks, and then they can go into another tank, but that other tank has to be the same fuel type. So once we have everything checked, we're going to go ahead and click on Save. And once that record's been saved, that administrative card is ready to be used. It is on and it's in the system, and you can fuel with it. Or you can do fuel transfers, the totalizer readings, or inventory readings. And let's say we want to take off this administrative card. Let's say it was just something we had a temporary, to turn it on temporary with. All we need to do is go back into the record by clicking on the card number. And then you just uncheck the card status checkbox and save. And that way the administrative card will not be able to be used anymore at terminals. And then to turn it back on, you just do the same thing you did before, but just in the opposite direction. And we check on the card status and hit save. And now that administrative card can be used again. This concludes the video on administrative cards. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.